And welcome back to the 412 podcast, 412 Nation. How are you doing? 412 Nation, that has been copyrighted by Tyler, though, because he's been the one saying that. So
Yeah,
I'm
you
going
owe
to
me
finally
coffee.
jump on that.
You owe me coffee now.
I've got my Dunkin'. This is a Dunkin'-chino, actually, so it's like a half coffee.
I'm going with the Mountain Dew kickstart. So,
Oh, nice and early in the morning. Okay.
yeah, you know the fruit punch. It's kind of like drinking a
Sure.
what's that? What's the fruit punch? Was it Caribbean, Hawaiian? No, what is it? I forget what it is. Anyways, who
No
knows?
clue.
Who knows?
Guys, thank you so much for tuning into the 412 podcast again. I'm just going to let you know right off the bat that this is going to be more of a probably laid back kind of episode as we just talk about summer plans. But before we get there, Tyler,
Yes, sir.
you had an awesome night of ministry last night, right? I heard some things might have changed a little bit or looked maybe a little different. So what did last night look like for you guys?
Yeah, so we last night had our last Wednesday night of the school year. So it was interesting. It was supposed to be actually our big like outreach night and everything like that. That was originally on the calendar, kind of our end of the year party. Obviously, it was a little bit different this year because of coronavirus and whatnot. They said that very Southern sounding, coronavirus. Anyways, so we did just kind of our normal night, but we actually had a few groups get together in person. Some of our smaller
Nice.
groups that can meet in groups of less than 10. We had some meet in the parking lot. So I was able to go out and like actually see my students, which was incredible to be able to just be like, hello, humans.
They're not just a computer screen. They're actual people.
Let's be honest, though. About 4 weeks into Zoom meetings, they just became a name on the Zoom screen. Yeah. Nobody turns their camera on anymore.
Right, that or you're seeing the ceiling.
Or the ceiling, yeah, or ramen noodles. I don't know why everybody makes ramen noodles during youth group, but
right.
Yeah, no. So we did that, and so that was a blast. Wrapped up our week or our school year calendar, yeah. So that's what we did. We finished up our series, origin story, talking about justice and how we can see the things in the world and we can change the world through Jesus. So. Yeah, there you go. And you guys are on week 2 of your break, right? You guys are taking a break?
Yeah, so it's like a half break, half not break. So we had our senior recognition service was on the calendar for last night.
Okay.
And so obviously we didn't meet in person. So I just put together a video that they could watch on their own time when they wanted to. It was up by like 11 a.m. yesterday morning. And it's just been there all day. So, I mean, so last week was definitely like break, nothing. And then this week was more like laid back, but I made the announcement that we're going to be meeting in person in our building next week since we are allowed to now. So the reason that we took it off was because I really wanted to take these 2 weeks to try and plan and prepare for when we get back in person, make sure I have all bases covered. The room is set up very social distancing wise. It's actually kind of interesting. I think I'm going to have to use a microphone to talk to the students because everyone has to be so spread out that when you start putting bodies in the room, I feel like my voice will not be able to carry to the back of the room. So it's going to be really weird using a microphone for 12 people, but it's fine. We'll get through it. I don't think it's the worst thing in the world, but so that's going to be a little bit of adjustment. So, but what we're doing, Tyler, is we're actually moving into our second phase. Second phase? Yeah, I guess like second phase of the year-ish kind of thing. So we have the school year and then our summer phase, which is what we want to talk about today. We want to talk about what do summer plans look like. I know some youth groups just take off for the complete summer. Some youth groups, they kind of like ramp it down, I guess, a little bit. Some youth groups I've even seen like ramp it up because no school or anything's happening. They're like, we're boom, full pedal down to the metal kind of thing, and we're going ham. And other people just continue to do like the whole year kind of thing. Yeah. I think the best way to do this is we should just talk real quick about what our summer plans look like. And then we can hopefully provide some people some inspiration on what they can do for their summer plans. And then we'd love for you guys to comment on our Instagram page, our YouTube page, send us an email what you do for summer planning. So, Tyler, we'll start with you. What is your summer gathering plans look like?
Yeah, so I think the first question, and this is maybe it really just the takeaway of the whole thing is like, what is your target for summer, right? What is your
Mm,
purpose of summer? Because I think answering that question allows you to answer like everything else and kind of build it out. Because if your summer is for rest and relaxation and recovery, if you will, and things like that, your summer's going to look a certain way. If it's about making
hmm
connections, your summer's going to look a certain way. I've been in different ministry situations at my first church. We never stopped, like ever.
hmm
Like, I mean, we'd maybe take 52 weeks out of the year. We'd go 50 weeks. Part of that is
Oh
I was
wow.
I was like a dumb 21-year old, and I thought, let's just always do stuff. And then I had kids,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
I mean,
Right.
there's all those kind of aspects. But and so we went all the way through.
hmm
And then I was at a larger church here in Minnesota, and we summer was like, we do for high school, we do the mission trip, and for
mm
middle school we did a thing called summer takeover,
Okay.
and that was it. Like, that's all we did. We gave all the small group leaders off, everything like that. And so
Nice.
here at where I'm serving now at Edinburgh, which is, I'm back in my office. Look at that, back in the office,
Amen.
not
That's
in my
okay.
basement anymore. So welcome to my messy office. We're still cleaning up from moving stuff back in. So if you
Mhm.
see the door open, it's probably some of my staff coming in. But we do kind of a hybrid. So
Okay.
we'll do gatherings, and summer is one about letting my leaders take a break, because my small group leaders, we do a lot of small group focused
hmm
stuff for our small group leaders. And so summer, and it also depends on your context too, right? I mean,
Yeah,
in
most definitely.
Minnesota, we get 4 nice months out of the year, and it's May, June, July, and August, and sometimes
hmm
September. So maybe 5, right? And then the rest is cold or rainy or snowy
Right.
or all that kind of stuff. And
Right.
so Minnesotans, we go hard in the summer, and so
hmm
like cabins and lakes and vacations up north, and those kind of things. And so
Yeah.
we don't get a lot of great traction in the summer for attendance wise. And so we say, okay, we're really going to make it about rest and relaxation for our leaders, recharging our leaders to
hmm
come back in the fall really strong. And so we'll do like some connection points throughout the summer with leaders, and some training things with
hmm
our leaders, usually come August before school starts. But then for students, it's just about connecting. Like, we have students that go up and serve at camp. We have students that are gone for sports all the time, although this year might look a little bit different.
Right.
And then we typically go from, normally we have about 80 to 100 students on a Wednesday. During the summers, we have about 30. And so it's
hmm
really like largely focused on relational building and getting to know people
hmm
better. And so that's probably going to be our focus again this year. We don't know. Okay, so shout out to Craig Sanborn, over at Plymouth Covenant. He gave me this idea
Sponsor
because,
us.
yeah, right, yeah. Craig's awesome. His wife is the cheese ball chick. If you've ever heard of the cheese ball chick, old. It's a she's. Anyways, look it up. But
Okay.
anyways,
Cheese ball kick. Check. I'll put a
yeah,
link in the description.
there you go. She's awesome. Molly is she's awesome. But anyways, Craig, I was sitting in a meeting with him, and we were chatting, and he said, we canceled our mission trip, we canceled all our stuff for the summer, and so we actually are running with, we're going to do something, and that's what they're literally calling their event. They said, we don't know what we're going to do, but we know we're going to
Mm.
do something, and it's going to be something. And so he created a shirt that says something on it, and he, instead of the O, it's a toilet paper roll, and just to commemorate this year. And so that's what they're
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
for their summer. And so actually, I think
Dude,
we're
that's
going.
so clever.
I
That's
know, right?
awesome.
Seriously, Greg Sanborn,
That's
he's a
awesome.
genius. But I texted him and I was like, hey, can I steal that? He goes, steal away. And so we're going to do, um,
Mm.
we don't know what it's going to look like yet. If it's going to be online, if it's going to be in person, or if it's going to be like in smaller groups at houses or something
Yeah,
like that.
yeah.
But we're going to do an event called something, and it might be a couple weeks or it might be a weekend. But right now,
Mm.
I'm formulating an email right now, going, hey, we're going to do something this summer, and it's going to be called something, and we don't know what it is, but it's going to be
Yeah,
something, and you will remember something. And so that's kind of, we're going to play
that's
with it, have some
awesome.
fun with it, and so if you want to steal that, you can email us, and I can make sure Greg's cool with it. um he's awesome, and let's steal that. So we're gonna do something. That's what we're doing this summer. Something.
Dude, that's phenomenal. I like that. And then a little hack in there, you can call your event the event. You can call it
Yeah,
something
something.
really simple, and then you can just play off it extremely well. I love that. That's awesome, dude.
Yeah,
So you're doing
we're
something.
doing something. Yes. Yeah. How about you guys? What do you guys do? I know you're in a smaller context.
Yeah. So when I first got to Emmanuel, they did nothing over the summer. I think they did like one event a month where they just got the
Okay.
kids to hang out. They went rock climbing, or Valley Fair was always, that's our local amusement park that they did. And I was just like, man, I feel like we're missing an opportunity to just do one thing for the month. So
Mm,
I sat down with all the parents and I said, I really would love to just continue meeting over the summer. If you can't make it, like, do not feel like you have to like stretch to try and get your kids here. Like, it's
sure.
really just a scaled back youth group. So normally we meet 6 to 8, but now we'll meet 6 to 7:15. And I'll give like a 5 minute, like real simple on your way devotional kind of thing. And it's really just meant to build community kind of thing, and just to get a chance to hang out with the students. So we do that for all of June. So we have 4 weeks in June. And so each night is a different night. So I'm going to build an escape room one night out of our youth room that they got to try and figure out. I have a baby monitor that's how I'm going to have the camera and I can talk to them. And then we have mini golf. I'm building like these mini golf courses too. So that'll be another night kind of thing. So that's what June looks like. All our families seem to go on vacation in July. So I just take hands off in July, and we just take off for the whole month of July. So that's like our, extended long, like that's where I get a chance to really rest in as well. And then August, we do the same thing, except for instead of it being game focused kind of thing, it's more group focused. So we'll say, in the past, we've said like, hey, everyone go to Perkins and we'll just have a meal there. Or everyone come over to my place and, we'll play some like Jackbox games or something like that. And that's always where we also put our amusement park trip too. And I'm very strategic. I always put it on a Wednesday, so it seems like it's just a part of youth group normally. So that's what our summers look like. And the reason for that is because I want to just be able to go into the school year just firing away with small groups to get them right into it. And so to help like combat the little awkwardness, like, oh, here we all are kind of thing. Like we've already been hanging out doing stuff together all summer. And then my volunteers, they're allowed to show up if they want to, but they are not obligated to. Like everything we do, I do it in such a way that if I'm the only one there, then I can run this event successfully kind of thing. Because I give the opportunity to the volunteers to just take off for the whole summer if they want to. Or they can show up, but we won't have small groups or anything like that. We don't have worship. It's a real toned back way, but it's just a way to get the students to hang out together. And we also use it as a transition point. So I invite fourth and fifth graders, which I know a lot of people have actually told me that's a terrible idea. It worked last summer for us extremely well. Our kids were super awesome and inviting, and they didn't feel like they had like a responsibility. They could still have fun and hang out with their friends, and they included the younger kids. So it was just really cool, and it provides a transitional piece so that when those kids get to their sixth grade year and they come into youth group, they know a little bit about what the ministry will look like. They've been able to create somewhat of a relationship with me, so it's not completely awkward as well. But that's what our summers look like. Real easy, scaled, toned back. I find all the DIY games kind of thing, and that's what we do.
Yeah, I think that's really good too. And kind of going back to the point I was saying earlier too of like summer, really what is your strategy in the summer, right? And and
Mm-hmm.
and there's not like a this strategy is right, this strategy is wrong or anything like that. It's really what works in your context, what works for you, what
Mm-hmm.
are you trying to accomplish in your ministry and everything like that. And so for
Right.
us, taking a little bit of time off actually is a huge benefit for our leaders, because I find that my leaders are far more engaged when they check back
Yeah.
in and they have
Mm-hmm.
they have that time, they have that freedom to
Right.
to be able to do that. Now some of them would totally just stay through, and others are like, is it May yet, or is it June yet? And so
Right.
I mean, it depends on the age group of their
Mm-hmm.
group. But I think asking that question is a really important question. And then also, I think there's a mindset that sometimes we have to be careful of is if we take time off in the summer, or if we're like in those moments, um, there's still, you can still, excuse me, I got, wow, look at that. There's still opportunities and things that we can leverage in the summer for
Yeah.
for the sake of ministry. Even
Hmm.
like okay, this year I just sent an email out on Tuesday. This is Thursday, so 2 days ago. Just sent an email out basically postponing our mission trips, which was a bummer and sad because one of the things I love to use in the summer is our mission trips, and we use our mission trips as a feeder system into our student
Hmm.
leadership. And so,
Hmm.
one of the ways that we identify people that we say these are student leaders, these are people we want to have, influencing the culture of our student ministry is I
Yeah.
see them on mission trips. And so watching some of our young student leaders interact on mission trips are the moments
Hmm.
where oftentimes at the end of the mission trip, I'm looking at them going, hey, like you did such a great job. Also, I think you need to be on our leadership team this school year because I see God
Hmm.
working in you. And it's those moments where you can leverage summer events and summer trips and things like that to
Yeah.
push people into like God's calling, just like we talk about all the time on Ephesians 4:12, right? Is identifying and equipping people to
Hmm.
do the work of God. And so we can leverage trips in the summertime when you
Right.
have those more relational times. You can build those relational things because when you scale it back, like you guys do in the summer, you can identify some of those students and really go, okay, I'm going to leverage these different things that we're doing over the summer for the
Hmm.
purpose of equipping students and equipping leaders
Right.
and equipping people. And so I think summer is actually, if we don't view it as, oh, it's just a break, we're just taking a break, but we're
Hmm.
actually like recalibrating in some ways and getting
Yeah.
ready to go, okay, we're going to hit this strong going into the school year, and
Right.
I'm going to put people in places where they need to be.
Hmm.
Summer's a huge recruiting time for us too, like for our new volunteers and things like that.
Hmm.
And so I think wrestling with a lot of those things are really important for leaders, and then
Yeah.
for pastors and for leaders, and even going, okay, how do I connect with my students outside? And so I encourage all my leaders, make sure you get cell phones or ways to contact your students so that you are still contacting them over the summer, because yeah, we're taking a break from physically meeting, or in this case digitally meeting physically, and
Right.
but we're still connected. So I think leveraging summer for that purpose can actually be a great tool and really valuable.
Yeah, most definitely. I love what you said about that just if you're not meeting kind of thing doesn't mean there's not ministry opportunities. Like uh me and two other students I have. One student, he's learning to golf. Another student, he's an all right golfer. So we've actually went out and played on a par three course right by us a couple times already. And it's just been a really cool time just to sit there. What we walk the course too. We don't get carts or anything because they're not allowed to. So we get to walk the course, and it's a good like 2 hours that we just get to hang out and just talk about life with one another. I get to teach my students too, like, oh Shay, like why did I, why did my golf ball go flying to the right? Well, you left your club face open, kind of thing. It's just been a really cool opportunity to do stuff like that. So find different opportunities like that. I love saying that you don't have to have a program to minister to students. And then just my other thing that I wanted to add for summer before we close off here uh, is don't be afraid to try new things over the summer. Like that is a great chance to, if you're like, I don't know if this event will work, kind of thing, you don't want it to mess up momentum in the school year. Man, summer is an awesome opportunity to try something like that. Like we have never done an escape room before. I did not want to try and build one and have it flop in the school year. So I'm gonna try and build one. And if it flops over the summer, all right, that's fine. I just know I either need to find new people to help me with it, or we just don't do it again, kind of thing. But it's a really cool chance for you to just vision cast kind of thing over the summer. Like what all those things you dream and think about. Try to find ways to throw those in over the summer as well, and respect the students' time. So
For sure. So we want to hear from you guys out there in 412 Nation. What are some of the things that you guys do over the summer? What are your
yeah.
strategies? What are those something events that you guys are doing the creative? Because I swear youth pastors are some of the most creative people out there, because
Yeah.
we are always just thinking about how do we,
Mhm.
you know, take it and make it just a little different or 10% better or all those things. And so we want to hear, like,
Yeah.
check
I
out
actually
our,
just saw a little story here. I just saw Wyoming's governor, some governor. He has a little board of advisors kind of thing like that.
Mhm.
And I guess there's this one youth pastor. So, if he's listening to this podcast, dude, like, love what you're doing. He was actually invited to become a part of his like trustee, like
Oh, cool.
advisory board, because the state's trying to find so many ways to be creative this summer. And I
That's sweet.
guess he's been so creative with meeting with the students that they're like, we want you to help us with that on a statewide scale.
Wow.
Like that is awesome. And
Represent the youth
I
pastors.
should have found. I will find that link and drop it
Okay.
in the notes. But I thought that was a really cool story. So guys, be creative.
Mhm.
Let us know how you're being creative. We would love to hear that. So
That's right. That's right.
yeah, you guys can find us on Instagram, YouTube. We do have a Facebook page. We've talked about the possibility of going Facebook Live so we can interact with you guys. We'll see what that looks like. But you can find us by just looking for the 412 podcast, no colon and 412, all one word. And you guys will find us. We're a black box with the numbers 412 and then a little like pyramid looking thing of boxes built up. So guys, thank you again so much for listening to this episode. Tyler, I love being able to do this podcast with you, man. It's been so
maybe
much
we'll do
fun.
it in person soon.
Yeah, maybe we'll do it. I'm always
on the
down
golf
for that.
course.
That would be interesting.
There you go.
Like a 2-hour episode on the golf course?
No, they don't need to be subjected to that torture.
Right.
There you go.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening.
Love you, 412 Nation.
Tyler, thanks for being here, man.
See you guys.
With that, peace.
Bye.